And that's really why you should consider buying the Anycubic. That's weird. I think we're up for a slight change of scenery right here. So 1, 2. That's better. It may not look like much has changed behind me, but I promise you that it has. Oh wait, there's still something missing. That looks complete now. So this behind me is the Anycubic Kobra 4 combo. I know it looks familiar, but it is a little bit different. Let's take a look at the new printer. The Kobra 4 does share a couple similarities with the Kobra X, but the version of the printer here comes nearly assembled. All the wires are already connected, and also removing the 4 brackets that actually hold the printer in place during shipping. There's 2 here on the side of the gantry, and there's a couple of really beefy ones down holding the bed in place. Almost seems like a little bit overkill, and they're a little bit awkward to get to, but once I got them out, everything else went pretty well. It also took a couple of minutes to install the printer head. The screws that hold on the printer head are not in the most convenient location, but a little bit of patience and a few curse words later, the printer head was installed. Just have to snap on a couple of panels here, and we're almost ready to fire it up and run our first test. With the printer set up, we can move on to kind of the meat and the potatoes here, and almost the star of the show, which is the Anycubic Ace 2 multi-material system. The only setup really needed for the Ace 2 is to remove the protective plastic and install all the PTFE tubes. This is probably one of the biggest selling points of the combos, especially because it allows for multicolor prints, but also has an integrated dryer. Once you run the filament, it pretty much does everything for you. And if you use Anycubic branded filament, it automatically recognizes the RFID tag and registers it with the machine. With the filament drying, I decided to run through a couple of the calibration tests recommended for the printer. Primarily the multi-point bed leveling test and also the vibration calibration test as well. Once those were done, which only took about 10 to 15 minutes, I didn't quite time it, but it didn't take that long at all. I was on to the perfect first layer test, my first print on the machine, and it came out perfect. I can't see any flaws in it. In fact, it's such a perfect print, I could probably use it as a gel for one of my lights, which is probably something I also stated for the previous video as well, but it's just as true now as it was then. Next, I printed this little bug model. Came out looking nice. It's not a really complex model, but very minimal layer lines and a nice textured bottom from the PEI plate. Next, I think it's law that you print a Benchy as one of your first prints on your first 3D printer, and it came out great. Nothing really to report there. I don't really see any issues or overhangs. It did take about 40 minutes to print, which a lot of people will say is a little bit slow, but I'm not going for optimization here. I'm just printing with the recommended settings on the machine itself. Next is this little purge bucket with the Kobra 4 branding on it. It has a little notch here that fits perfectly on the side, and I will definitely need that layer for some multicolored prints. This next print that I did is a little bit different. It is not from the machine. I got this from Maker Online, and it's primarily out of necessity because one of the multicolor prints that I want to do is using colors that I only have on the smaller spools here, the 1 kilogram spools. And as far as I can tell, those don't natively fit or work within the Ace 2 Pro. So I printed several out of these adapters, and they fit really well. They screw together. They have little fins on the inside that hold the filament, and there they are loaded. You have to make sure that those are installed correctly and they're tight enough so the inner spool does not spin independent of the outer spool and possibly mess up your print. But I didn't have any issues and they worked great, mainly to print this. This is a HueForge style print and kind of like in a stained glass style of a Warhammer 40K, I guess, figure unit. I don't really play the game, but I have family members that do, and they really thought this was a cool looking print. It started to bend and peel up a little bit when I was taking it off the build plate, but that's only because the print is really thin and it was still really warm when it finished. But once it cooled and I took it off, it looks fantastic. I'm probably going to be printing a couple more of those there. And that's all the purge from that print. It's designed really well, so it doesn't have to have a whole lot of color changes. I can't say that's going to be the case for another print coming up. Next up on the build plate is this really cool looking vase. It has a lot of 3D modeling texture around it, along with this cool bird hanging off the side. And since I'm recording this around Mother's Day, I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a 3D printed vase for my wife. And it came out phenomenal. The PLA that I use is kind of this silk feeling brown PLA. Almost feels kind of like almost like a ceramic, which, you know, of course it isn't, but it gave the illusion of that and gave a little bit more of a nice soft textured feel instead of feeling like a typical plastic print. And my wife really liked it as well. The next 3D print I did is almost kind of a nostalgic throwback 3D print. This is a Groot, a planter Groot, and this was really popular several years ago, and I had printed so many of these for friends and family as gifts. And just curious to see if the quality of the printer really improved the quality of the print, and it did. And it also printed a lot quicker than what I remember on my old Ender 3 that a lot of us had at one point. And the last print I tried tackling was one that I was actually kind of excited about, ever since I first saw it on somebody else's YouTube channel. And it might seem kind of silly, but I thought it was going to be really fun to print, and it looks pretty cool. And it's this. This pseudo paper bag from McDonald's, or whatever that M is supposed to represent, was coming out really well, but notice that it looks somewhat incomplete. And that's because I had a clog about 30 hours into the print. I'm not exactly sure of the reason for the clog. Part of it was probably exacerbated by the fact that I ran out of this color filament on the roll. I didn't have the eye detection turned on, so it detected it. I'm not 100% sure what happened or how it got clogged, but it was clogged in such a way that I couldn't clear the clog and continue the print. So this is what I was kind of left with. Anycubic also wants to reiterate that the failure of the print and the clog aren't really indicative of the printer itself and a little bit more of an isolated incident. So you should be able to do really long prints without having to worry about issues like this one. The team at Anycubic was actually pretty helpful in helping me get the clog cleared. Once I got that cleared, I did some other testing, but just to verify that the printer was still working. I didn't go back and try to print this again, mainly because that was a lot of time dedicated to this one print, but also there was a huge amount of purge waste from trying to print this. Once again, and I already stated this earlier in the video, I wasn't really going for optimization for any of the prints, just trying to get some really cool results out of my initial testing with the printer. Which at this point I have about 80 to maybe 90 hours of printing on the Anycubic Kobra 4 with the AMS2 Pro combo here. So a quick note before I go over any of the technical specifications of the machine, just a little bit of transparency. Anycubic did send this to me as an early unit before it was even announced to the public, so I've been testing with this machine for a while, and they did provide it to me for review in exchange for this video. But all the opinions I'm expressing here are my own, other than some of the technical specifications and some of the highlighted points that Anycubic wants me to hit. As far as the print quality and all the tests that I've done are being represented pretty accurately here. And if you have any questions of things that I did not touch on or cover during the video, please make sure to ask about them in the comments. I love answering questions, and sometimes you'll get a little bit more of a in-depth response than I'm usually able to provide even during the course of the video. So some technical specs on the printer. This is a entry-level bed slinger printer, and it features a build volume of 260 millimeters cubed, so length, width, and height. So with the current setup, I can print 4 different colors in multicolor printing, but it's also expandable up to 8 different colors if you get a second ACE2 Pro system. Now the machine is up and running, and I've done several different prints, about 80 hours worth of printing on this machine so far. And other than that one clog issue, it has run basically flawlessly. While this is printing, I was usually watching and monitoring the prints on the Anycubic app. And that has kind of been an invaluable kind of addition to my process with 3D printing. I know that a lot of companies will say that you should be in the same room while you're 3D printing, but we all kind of know that, you know, we're not going to be sitting next to the printer for a 30-hour print. So being able to monitor it remotely from the app has been really valuable and really nice, and just kind of like a nice visual checking in to see the progress of the print. The printer itself, like I said, I've been using primarily standard settings or whatever's been recommended, but it does have a higher print speed of about 600 millimeters per second. I've not really pushed the printer in terms of speed to actually test that higher speed. Maybe I will in the near future to see if I could get that benchy time down from 40 minutes to something a little bit lower. If anybody is curious about getting into 3D printing, this is a pretty good entry-level spot. Setup time is only about 15 minutes. The only real time-consuming part that was a little bit awkward was putting on the print head, just mainly because the placement of the screws are a little bit challenging to get to with the Allen key. And then screwing the brackets to hold the bed in place were also in an awkward position, but it was not unreasonable. It just took a couple extra minutes and I was up and running pretty quickly. This really is a great starter system for anybody that is looking to get into 3D printing for the first time and maybe doesn't have a lot of extensive knowledge of using machines like this in their past. If you're looking for an additional machine, especially one that comes in at a lower cost, this is definitely one to check out. As far as pricing goes, make sure to check out Anycubic's site because that price might change as this gets closer to its launch day. And from the initial pricing that I've seen, the fact that it is the full 3D printer and the Ace 2 Pro as a combo, it's definitely worth it. If you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you for watching. It actually means a lot that, you know, I have the attention of your eyeballs for this long. I hope you've gotten some useful information out of the video. And like I said, if you have questions, please make sure you put those in the comments down below. I have a lot of videos in my back catalog, so go ahead and check out what I have there. I have a lot of laser cutting stuff, some 3D printing stuff, and a lot of DIY builds as well. And still a lot more to come. So in the meantime, don't forget to design, make, and play. I'll see you in the next video. Happy printing.